Good afternoon and welcome to this round 12 fixture between Broadmeadow Magic and Lake Macquarie City FC. Joining me this afternoon is Damien Smith. I'm Chris Turner. Smudge, got an interesting game this afternoon.
Yeah, definitely see two. Second in Magic versus 10th place in Lake. So yeah, it's going to be a very interesting game, I think. The two players are playing against their old club as well. So and Nick Webb's coached at Magic before, so he'll probably want a good result here at Magic. Lake Macquarie, they haven't got the results of late, but I'll tell you what, they've been in every game, haven't they, CT? They've been very unlucky, and unfortunately they haven't picked up the points they probably deserve this year.
Yeah, I think so, and maybe defensively, they've just been leaking a couple of goals that they haven't wanted to. So, all in all, they've been scoring them, but they're not picking up at the back end and leaking some goals. So, hopefully, they'll be a bit stronger in defence today, and they'll need to be because they've got a very strong attack in the Broadmeadow front three that we've seen over recent weeks, Smudge.
Yeah, totally agree, CT. I think the key for Lake Macquarie, obviously, they need to keep their defence tight. Their defence is quite... they've got the sixth best attack, but they've got the equal worst defence in the league, letting in 2.5 goals per game. So their key is about being very tight at the back and in attack. They've got Sam Walker who's scoring goals. He's an equal league goal scorer. He's going to be a threat to Magic's defence.
Look, we'll have a look at the lineups as they start. We'll start with the away side, Lake Macquarie. In goals is number 1, Stuart Plant. Just reading straight off the top of the list as they go down, Smudge. Number 11, Sam Walker. Number 6, Thomas Walker. Number 19, Corey Fletcher. Number 7, Thomas Sparry. Number 8, Campbell Ross. Number 9, Mitchell Hunter. Number 2, Harry Lane. Number 5, Joey Kasich. Number 18, Morgan Aquino. And number 10, Paul Shikawi. And on the bench, we have Manoli Pappas. I'm struggling with that name, but someone might be able to help me out there. And also we have on the bench, we've got Mitchell Hunter. Oh, sorry, it's Kai Abrahams. I've just made an absolute meal of that.
And for Magic, we've got Paul Bitts in goals at number 1. Number 5, Luke Virgili. Captain, number 3, Josh Pennington. Number 14, John Griffith. Number 8, Matt Hurl. Number 12, Shane Paul. Number 4, Justin Broadley. Number 26, and coming into the side this week is Mitch Oxborough. Number 9, Carl Bradbury. Number 7, James Virgili. And number 10, Johnny Madge. On the bench, number 11, Dino Fajovic. Number 19, Cody Carroll. Number 2, David Eifield. And number 88, Sam Webb. And number 66 as reserve goalkeeper, Brad McKenzie. Yes, it's going to be an interesting game today, CT. What are your thoughts? And who do you think is going to get on top?
Yeah, well, my thoughts are the big key for Lake Macquarie is to don't concede goals because the strike power of Broadmeadow Magic, as we know, has been proven, and they're going to be tough to hold out. So depending on the matchup between the front three in particular, the inclusion now of Mitchell Oxborough and how the Lake Macquarie defence hold up, Smudge, I think it's going to go a long way in determining how Lake Macquarie's afternoon is going to pan out. How they're going to go, I'm predicting that Magic will win, but I don't think they're going to have it all their way.
Yeah, I tend to agree, and I think Lake Macquarie's defence is the key. Like I said before, they have got the worst defence in the league, and then we go underway, ball's back to Mitch Burrow, plays it forward to Johnny Madge, and well cut out by John Sparrow. Yeah, just going back on that, CT, they have got the equal worst defence with 25 goals leaked this year. So that's about 2.5 per goal. However, they've got the 6th best attack, and they've got equal leading goal scorer Sam Walker in obviously playing up front. So, they're going to be a threat going forward, but the key is locking their defence up and not giving away any silly goals.
Going across the back line, looking at Lake Macquarie's back line, they've got 5 across the back, and then they've got 2 holding midfielders, and when we're looking at those, that's Campbell Ross and Morgan Aquino, and 3 out front, and that 3 is Mitchell Hunter, Sam Walker, and Paul Shikawe. So Smudge, they're looking like they're certainly shoring up their back line with 2 holders, and then in their own right they've got 3 great attacking players.
Yeah, tend to agree. And for Magic, Magic's gone with a bit of a different formation. They've been playing 3 or 5 at the back for the last. Ball into Johnny Madge. Laid back to Bradbury. Back to Oxborough. Great ball by Oxborough to Vigili to the right-hand side. And a great challenge by Sparrow. Yeah, just going back on Magic CT. They've gone to a 4-3-3 today, where they've been playing 5 at the back or 3 at the back of late. So they've just changed their shape a little bit. They've brought in Oxborough for Cody Carroll. They've brought in Johnny Griff for the injured Takasumi Sanada. And they've also, Johnny Madge has replaced Dino Fadge from last week's game. So they've made 3 changes to this side. So 1 forced, the other 2 are probably positional and structural. So, yeah, leads to a very interesting contest.
Yeah, I like the look of the midfield of Broadmeadow. Come back to that in a moment. Ball into Shikawe, to Aquino. Walker on the ball. And Lake Macquarie holding possession beautifully in the early stages of the game. And I was just about to say this midfield of Oxborough sitting on top of the 2 in behind him, which is Justin Broadley and Shane Paul Smudge, you know, and that triangle is a really powerful one. You've got 2 really good workhorses, and then the injection of Oxborough, who's going to be a great distributor, and we saw a lot of that last year. Balls that he played out to Vigili in particular.
That's an offside. Mixed Oxborough just slightly offside. Yeah, tend to agree, CT. When Oxborough came in last, that's when they started last year. That's when they started that winning streak of about 9 or 10 games. And they were unlucky not to make the grand final in the end. So, and the combination between Oxborough and Vigili last year, I don't know how many goals, maybe about 5 or 6, where Oxborough slotted in Vigili goal. So I think that's a key from Broadmeadow today. Out to Hool. Into Oxborough. Great ball to Carl Bradbury. Looked slightly offside there, CT, but he wasn't. Bradbury, well defended by Lake Macquarie. Ball back to Vigili. Oh, cut out by Mitch Hunter. Vigili, and easy for Stuart Plant. So, CT, just on the weather, mate. You're a meteorologist at times.
Self-proclaimed. Well, it is. It's quite cool this afternoon. I don't know the temperature, but I'm going to guess it's around 18 degrees. And it's a strong south to southeast wind. As we see Shikawe just rifle one in there from range. Great strike there. And just talking about that breeze, that's the sort of thing that's not out of play on a day like today. The point, we're just talking about those 2 midfielders in Shane Paul and Justin Broadley, and then having Oxborough sit in front. They're really playing against a 2 in the middle of the park in Morgan Aquino and Campbell Ross. So, you know, they've got to be really right on their game and shuffling. If Oxborough goes through, you know, high, they've got to be able to have the ability to come out of the back line. It might be, it could be someone like Corey Fletcher, you know, coming to leave that line of 5 to come and pick him up, because you just can't leave him unattended.
Just in that phase of play there, CT. It's going to be a great battle between James Vigili and Tom Sparrow here on the right-hand side. They've duelled up twice, and so far Sparrow's got the better of Vigili just in the early stages, so it's going to be a great duel, I think. There's Vigili on the ball. Out to Shane Paul. Great ball into Carl Bradbury. Bradbury crosses to Tom Walker, and Tom Walker clears it. It's out to Shane Paul. Controls it quite nicely. Not much width here for Broadmeadow, is there, CT? It'd be good to see a little bit width.
Yeah, I think that they're the way that they're set up, they can certainly play to that with their front 3, and they have the ability to do that. As we see Vigili on the ball, plays it into Oxborough, who's not able to control that, and it goes out for a throw-in for Lake Macquarie. Lake Macquarie would like to get some advantage with this strong breeze at their backs in the first half. They would love to go in, you know, 1 or 2 goals in front. Sometimes that works for you, Smudge, and sometimes it works against you. As we see Vigili on the ball, he takes a strike, and that one goes over the top left-hand corner of the goals. But interesting to see how they're going to shape up in that respect, Smudge.
Just around the ground, CT, Charlestown versus Hamilton was called off today due to the wet weather overnight. So that game was called off, all 3 grades. Western are playing their arch rivals of Maitland at Western today. And there's also Adamstown Rosebars versus Newcastle Jets at Adamstown Rosebars. So we'll keep you up to date with all the local scores as well.
Throw in from Lake Macquarie. That one didn't find its mark. Harry Lane on the ball. He's looking for Aquino. Finds Walker. Sam Walker, that is. And the ball goes out, possibly deflection. Now Broadmeadow Magic on the ball. It's with Vigili. So, Smudge, very early in the piece, it started off fairly evenly. There's not been too much either way. We've had a couple of shots, one from Shikawa and one from Vigili. And at this point, as I say, Shikawa on the ball and cuts it back inside for Walker. And Walker's just clipped that one over the top of the bar. And that's what they're capable of, Smudge. You just can't write them off. In the top end of the park, when the ball's there, they've got combinations. And Morgan Aquino is someone that has been playing up the front. And last week was the first time he came into a holding sort of midfield position where we've only ever seen him play up front. This is a big move from Lake Macquarie to stick a young player in such a central position and key position against one of the premier sides in the competition.
And just going back on that phase, Sam Walker, he peeled just off John Griffiths, give himself some space and just glide the ball over the top right-hand corner. They're very unlucky, Lake Macquarie. And Sam Walker's in fine form at the moment. He scored 8 goals this year and equal in goals. That's a great header by Johnny Madge and well cut out by Corey Fletcher. Shane Paul, mixed Oxborough. Great, well cut out by Corey Fletcher. That's where Oxborough's deadly, isn't he? Sliding those balls through.
Yeah, he sure is. And you can guarantee as Aquino gets on the ball to Walker and then to Shikawa, you can see how important it is for Lake Macquarie to stay tight and with their runners, and the ball gets played and cut out by Piddington. Rolled up and good delivery for Oxborough, who's under immediate pressure and draws what you would expect a free kick, but it's gone against him. And Lake Macquarie have come away with a free kick.
Just on the referee today, James Cleal, a fellow physiotherapist, also a fellow honeymaker CT. He gave you some honey a few weeks ago?
Yeah, he did. It was a little bit out of the blue. I just randomly said it like someone, there you go, and next week there it was, and I think he just wanted to keep us on the good side of the commentary much. No, he's doing a fine job. Just whipped into the box, and that header has gone over the byline. Paul Bitts has come into the side for Broadmeadow this year, Smudge, and seems to be doing a great job, and he certainly has fitted in pretty well by all accounts.
Yeah, well, Magic have got the equal best defensive record in the league with 11 goals against. That's just over 1 goal a game, and obviously he's a big part of that. He's made some tremendous saves this year, Paul Bitts, and yeah, he's been a great addition for Magic. And just an update on yesterday's game, Edgeworth Eagles 1, Lambton 1. Lambton scoring in the dying stages to equalise against Edgeworth. So I didn't see the game at all, CT. You watched a bit of the game. They said it was an outstanding game. Here's Vigili with the ball. Vigili, Sparre's held him up really well. Vigili's taken on Sparre. And he gets Vigili past Sparre. Comes to Corey Fletcher. He beats Corey Fletcher. He crosses it. Carl Bradbury's on the ball. Can he get a strike on goal? Goes into Johnny Madge and well cleared by Corey Fletcher. Better play by Magic. Luke Vigili on the ball. Great ball in. And well taken by Stuart Plant. That was a good little run by Vigili. That's where he's dangerous. When he was playing A-League, I remember a similar run where he set Heskey up and Heskey scored the goal at the Newcastle Jets Stadium. So that's where Vigili can be lightning.
played out by Hool, looking for Majerovski. That one didn't come off. Again, a throw in. Majerovski controls, tries to play it off, didn't find its mark. Back to Hool. He's looking for options. They're drying up on him really quickly. Tries to get it back to Griffiths, but gets taken out for a throw in. So he'll regain that one. Seems to be a little bit of lack of movement. Majerovski trying to get a hold of. It's kept in by Morgan Aquino. Justin Broadley. And back to Oxborough, who strikes it. And a terrific strike into Majerovski, who's tried to do everything he can and plant. Didn't hold the first one with a bit of swirling wind smudge, and then all of a sudden, Magic were on the pounce.
So that came from nowhere, didn't it? Oh, great challenge by Shane Paul. That strike came from nowhere into the breeze, wasn't it? Into a strong breeze. That just flew. It just swerved everywhere, and Stuart Plant done tremendous to hold it out, and Johnny Madge nearly got the follow-up. Very interesting. They brought in Johnny Madge for Dino Fadge for this game. The different style of plays. Johnny Madge holds the ball up really well. So does Dino Fadge, but Dino's more running off, running into the space. So obviously they're looking to play a little bit differently today, Magic. And that's a free kick against Magic.
We see a free kick. These types of free kicks can be dangerous when you've got such a strong breeze behind you. And Shikawa is looking to get it in the box, and you know, a deflection or just a bump on towards target, quite dangerous in this type of conditions. Just delivered in. Just didn't beat Piddington. Lake Macquarie with possession still. Ball's played out for a cross. And they're lining up at the back stick. Walker's in on the edge of the box, and Aquino was there as well. And both of them straight through, unattended, couldn't get a touch either side.
Yeah, Harry Lane's done tremendous there. Gets past Virgili. Oh, no, sorry, Pennington crosses the ball in. Luke, I was going to say Luke Walker, but sorry, Sam Walker. All he had to do was get a toe on it. That would have been 1-0 up to Lakes. So well played by Lakes. Back to Virgili, to Oxborough. Great ball into Virgili. He's offside. He looked offside from this angle, CT. Nice little run by Virgili. He's trying to ghost him behind the back five of Lakes. And Mitch Oxborough's trying to find him nice and early, but he just sort of stepped offside. Stuart Plant with a free kick. The rain's just slowly starting to come down here, CT. Looks like we're going to get a little bit wet, mate. Just around the grounds after 15 minutes. Adamstown and Newcastle Jets 0-0. Obviously it's 0-0 here, and it's 0-0 at Western as well. Western versus Maitland. Luke Virgili not happy with James Khalil. Maybe talking about his honeyed CT.
Yeah, I doubt it. But he certainly wasn't happy. But Broadmeadow, look, over the last few weeks, Smudge, I felt like they've really come into contention. And then the announcement of Oxborough coming into this group just only enhanced their prospects. Didn't get the result they were after last week. And Virgili stayed on side. Looked certainly marginal from here, but this is where he is normally very strong, and Lake Macquarie cleaned that up by the services of Sparry. And Hool into Bradbury, who gets a nice touch to Majerovski. He's looking for options, finds Oxborough, dummies for Virgili, strikes on goal into Plant. Deflected and then couldn't cut it back far enough, Smudge, to get that one on target. Great opportunity for Broadmeadow Magic.
Yeah, as well played by Broad. Good interchange between Oxborough and Majerovski. Virgili, nice strike on goal. He did have Carl Bradbury on the far stick if he crossed it for an easy tap in. So But, yeah, better play by Magic. It was well played. I like it when they've got a bit of width here. Sometimes they play a little bit too narrow for me, but now with Hull coming forward nice and wide, gives a bit more width, a bit more space for the midfielders to move about and get into space. Shane Paul. Foul on Shane Paul by Paul Shikawi.
Paul's played into Hull, who seems to be having a good game so far. He's done a whole lot wrong, except make a nuisance for himself up in the front third, which is be pleasing for his coach. Paul played into Virgili and then back out to Bits.
We're just talking earlier about how narrow Magic are playing at times. You hear Ruben Zakovic saying to James Virgili, get wider, spread the defence. There's going to be more space for the ball to be played in, and then he can get in one-on-one situations.
Well, that's a real key for Broadmeadow, because if they can stretch them out wider, particularly when they're playing with 5 at the back like Macquarie, it's going to give them a little bit more room. And when they have been up and been threatening, I think Macquarie have been there in numbers to nullify the chances, despite, they've still got a few shots away. So, they'll be definitely trying to make them go in wider as this one gets played over the top, looking for Gilly, but Plant is coming to pick that up, and Fletcher finds Walker and Shikawe. He's got Spare on his left, goes inside to Aquino. It misses him. Finds Campbell Ross. Aquino in with a strong challenge and cleared away by Justin Broadley. And Smudge, this one's just, it's certainly not a one-way affair, and this is probably testament to the fact that Lake Macquarie have been in games every week.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Lake Macquarie is building more confidence as the game's going on. Paul Shikawi. Great ball into, just chipped a bit too far for Sam Walker, especially with the breeze behind. Just need to keep the ball into players' feet. I totally agree. Magic's had a few half sniffs or a few half good chances. Lake Macquarie's had 1 or 2 good chances as well. So obviously they're going to gain confidence and more confidence as the game goes out against Magic. And I think their structure's really well, playing the 5 at the back with the 2 sitting midfielders just screening the back 5. That's really compacting that space for the Magic strikers.
Yeah, and I think the key is for the players in Harry Lane and Tom Spare not to go at the wrong times, and by that mean not go at the same time or when there's a dangerous turnover time, and that's usually on the transitioning bottom third at their end. So if they control that all right, so far so good for Lake Macquarie. Ball played into Virgili, finds Oxborough, who tries to get him away, picked up by Walker. Spare is pinched by Majerovski. Spare's back in front again. He's done a terrific job, well defended. Go as far as Shikawe. Spare, he's done well there, Smudge. He's done very well, and also this ball's been instantly cut out by Virgili. This is turning into like a possession fight. They're both wanting to play some football, which is a good sign. This ball is going to be left by Virgili, and he's going to find himself in the box, and it'll be Oxborough to go over and take this free kick.
Yeah, Lakes had really opened up Broadmeadow very well then. They went to switch play, but the pass just didn't find that final mark. If they got it nice and wide to Harry Lane nice and early, they would have been in on the attack. So they're playing some good stuff, Lake Macquarie, aren't they, CT? And yeah, it's been quite a tight battle at the moment. Oxborough on the ball. It's a great ball in. Walker clears it. Out for a goal kick. Oh, sorry, corner for Magic. Just looking at Lake Macquarie's past record, CT, they've lost their last 5 games, but they've only lost the last 5 games by no more than 2 goals. There's been a few very tight, just 1-0 losses or 2-1 losses, and there's been a 2-0 loss. So it's been very tight all the way. Oxborough in. Oh. Bradbury. Great. Well defended by Lake Macquarie. Shikawa's got the ball. There's a foul by Matty Hurl on Shikawa. Yeah, they've lost their last 5 games. Their last win was back in round 5 against Valentine. They won 6-1, and in round 4 against Adamstown they won 4-0.
I think the key for Lake Macquarie there was just, you know, with those shot on goal and that strike in particular from Bradbury, did particularly well to get over it. Just had numbers in the box. And because they've got the numbers in the box, it's just hard to penetrate. Virgili plays the ball to his brother, James. Just cut out again by Bits. Spare certainly injected himself well into early part of this game as he creates a great opportunity. 1-2 with Shikawa, and he's got space on the left-hand side. Both Walkers in the box, and it's intercepted by John Griffiths, tackled well, and it goes out for a corner. Smudge, just having a look through the lineup and the shape. I was thinking before the start of the game, you know, the two midfielders for Lake Macquarie that are holding versus the three of Magic, thought may have been a mismatch, but it just hasn't been so far.
Yeah, I tend to agree, but also I think Paul Shikawa's got on the ball. He's played a few 1-2s with a few players. He's looked very threatening, very dangerous. He's had a great strike on goal. And that play with Tom Sparrow then, just down the left-hand side, really opened up Broadmeadow. Walker with the corner. Bits collects it nice and easy. Out to Broadley. Release Broadley nice and early. Through to Bradbury, yeah, I thought it was going to be offside. Brawley just held the ball up just a tad as Bradbury was running, so he just probably ran just offside, just slightly.
So I think Broadmeadow's coach was hinting they're a little slow to react in releasing the ball there, Smudge, but we see that one launched down into deep into Magic territory, and then Oxborough on the ball.
Yeah, I think Ruben's getting frustrated that his strikers are running forward rather than running on an angle then going forward, and therefore because they're making that forward straight line run, they're running offside before the ball's released. So I think he wants them running on an angle across the line of the defence, then darting across. Here's Virgili.
Yeah, I think so, and not only that, having the ball released a bit quicker than what it was. I think that might have been the reference there. Magic a gainer on the attack, and doing this through Griffiths and Hoole. Finds Hoole, but they're very stretched at the moment, and it's very quick and tight. Walker just drops the ball back in for Shikawa, who doesn't find his range, and then all of a sudden Bradbury's on the ball. He finds Majerovski, just hits it too long, and it's an easy pick up for Bits.
And what I like there, Mitch Oxborough, as soon as Bradbury got the ball, he's running, wasn't he? He was running in beyond, making that forward run beyond the back four. And if Bradbury could find him, he was one-on-one with Stu Plant, and would have been very interesting. But if you look at Lake Macquarie here, they're very condensed, very compact. There's not much space to play through. That's where I think Broadmeadow, their wide blokes, and Virgili, Bradbury get nice and wide, stretch their back five. Otherwise, it's so congested and so tight. Here's Virgili against Sparrow again. It's been a great battle, these two. Good ball in. Well cleared by Harry Lane. Out to Oxborough. Good scramble defence by Lakes today, haven't they? They've scrambled really well at times.
Yeah, it's a very intelligent and smart setup by Nick Webb, coach of Lake Macquarie. He knows the strengths of Broadmeadow's attack, and he knows where they've been leaking, and that's been in defence. So the way that he's got them set up, it's very intelligent, and he's so far so good for Lake Macquarie. As I said earlier, you know, they'd love to go in Lake Macquarie with a goal or two in front, because you can imagine second half Magic are going to come out very, very much dominant in their territory, where they're going to be defending for, you could imagine, for a lot of the second half. Well, exactly. You mentioned the Breeze, and that's exactly what we're talking about, because they're going to have such a strong wind behind them, and that's the importance of Lake Macquarie being able to get a goal before half time. This ball was just overhit and's gone out for a throw-in for Lake Macquarie.
Yeah, just two things I'd like to see Magic do. Either get your Luke Virgilis and your Matt Hills right in their fullback, try and overlap, get past Virgili and Bradbury high on the right and high on the left, just to create that 2v1 situations. Or the other thing I'd like to see is Luke Virgili on the ball. Great ball. Well cleared out by Tom Walker. Justin Broadley into Virgili. Virgili around the box with Corey Fletcher. Yeah, good challenge again by Tom Sparrow. It's been a great duel between those two. Matty Hurl Whips it back into Tommy. Nice defensive header by Tommy Walker. Mitch Hunter, and balls out to Harry Lane. Probably just gone a bit too far. Yeah, the other thing I'd like to see what Broadmeadow do here, CT, is maybe Johnny Maggi staying nice and high, trying to stretch him. I wouldn't mind seeing him drop back in the midfield and don't have anyone up front. Create that extra man in midfield. Therefore, Corey Fletcher, Tom Walker, one of them's going to have to actually either follow him, otherwise not marking anyone. There's going to be 3 players there. Once one of them follows him, then that's where your Oxboroughs and that make that run through in that space.
Yeah, and you've got to make a choice as a defender then, don't you? You're either going to sit and hold in your line like you've been instructed to do, or you've got to follow him out, and that's exactly the holes that you're talking about that can be created there, Smudge, and it's a very, very good ploy to be able to do that. We see Broadley trying to get one in over the top for Virgili, but that one was just overhit as we see Sparre.
I think the key for both sides here is to keep ball on the deck and into feet. With the strong wind, either going into or against, players are overhitting the ball for them forward runs, or the wind's taking it, depending which way you're going. So I think both coaches probably want the ball more so into deck, into feet for their players, rather than like playing the ball through, because it's actually the ball with the wind, it's sort of hard to judge.
Yeah, well, particularly for Broadmeadow, when you've got players like Majerowski that you can hit his feet, he can hold it, drop it off, and then get your Bradburys and Virgilis in. We see him just trying to get a touch away. He finds Bradbury, and then all of a sudden, the ball overhit. And at that time is where you just want it slid just in his path, and it was overhit, and then straight out to Paul Bitts.
And again, that's what I was saying before. See, Johnny Maggi dropped a little bit deeper in the midfield, created the space, got the toe on what went to Bradbury. Mixed Oxborough made the deep run, and just the ball was just overhit. Good challenge by Campbell Ross. Sam Walker on the ball. What I like about Sam Walker, he only has 1 or 2 touches. He's peels off his defenders, gets a touch, plays it back, and gets moving. Sam Walker on the ball again. Out to Tom Sparre. Early cross, but just went a bit too far. You had time to actually control it, probably take on Matty Hill then, CT.
Yeah, he just sometimes in those instances you just want to get the ball in the box, but he definitely had time to take a touch. And this time, Virgili's taking his time, rolls it out to Houle, finds himself in some space, and rolls in Virgili. Terrific ball, but he's under immediate pressure by Fletcher and Sparre. Comes back out to Broadley, who sensibly plays out the left-hand side of Virgili. And this is what they need more of, Smudge. A bit more possession, play some feet, and hold the ball for longer periods.
Yeah, I tend to agree. They just need to be a little bit patient as well. Sometimes they're rushing the ball too forward. But here I like, see Virgili's on the touchline, Bradbury's on the touchline there. They're really spread. They just need to be patient with the ball. Houle to Virgili, back to Houle, good interplay, and well cut out by Tom Sparre. And late Macquarie's throw. That's the thing, playing 5 at the back. What late Macquarie have done with their 2 deep midfielders, there's not much space is there.
From Shikawe, finds Shikawe back now possession with Broadmeadow, and Fletcher to clean this one up. And Bitts plays the ball over the sideline. I haven't mind the way Broadmeadow have just in the last 5 minutes or so just started to hold a bit more possession. You can see they're really looking to hold some possession and get the ball pushed around a bit, and I think that's key in their build-up. And we've seen that in previous weeks where it's worked well.
Yeah, I tend to agree. And part of that is they're starting to play a little bit wider. They're a bit too narrow in the first 20 or so minutes, even though they did have a few opportunities. But I'd like to see Virgili and Bradbury a little bit wider. They can tuck in if Luke Virgili and Matty Hill's going to overlap. But at the moment, they barely overlap. So you need a bit of width up front in the top third just to spread the Lakes defence. Sam Walker on the ball. Out to Harry Lane. Harry Lane, Luke Virgili, great ball in. It's gone back to Paul Shikawe and well cleared by Matty Hill. Good opportunity there for Lakes, but well defended by Magic. Justin Brawley on the ball. Out to Bradbury. Joey Kajik's. Bradbury skins Joey. and plays it, and he's gone back to the foul, the initial foul.
Yeah, good patch from Lake Macquarie right there. They certainly had an opportunity for a goal scoring, or a chance at least. And then we'll see Oxborough on the ball. And as we saw last year, Smudge, his dead pieces are very, very accurate. He'll be looking for the back stick, in particular Majerovski, who's known, and Piddington can score with their head. And this is for Lake Macquarie, and to stay tight. Ball rebounded back out to Broadley, who strikes and goes left post and covered by Bits, I think, on that occasion. One of the big the keys is when we've got Bradbury and Virgili wide, Smudge, we've got Majerovski sitting in the middle on his own, and on plenty of occasions so far, since they have widened up, it's been Walker and Corey Fletcher 2-on-1, and I don't think that's a bad move, particularly on a guy that is so dangerous. And as we were talking about before, one of them, if he does drop back in the middle of the park, one of them can stay and the other one follows. So they've still got some line about their back line, as in, it's still in shape. See Broadmeadow just building up again, and this time from Piddington out to Virgili. Takes his time on the ball and looking for his options, and finds no one further than Tom Walker, who advances himself from the park looking for options and draws a foul, Smudge.
Yeah, I really like the way Nick Webber's set up here, playing this 5 at the back, because he's got cover. He knows the danger of their front 3 plus Oxborough. So each player's got cover. So, and they're really congested. So it's a great, nice early free kick out to Harry Lane. And taken by Paul Bits. Well closed down by Luke Virgili. Yeah, I just think their back 5, there's always that extra man there. So, and as Nick Webb talking to him before the game, he knows their front 3. Everyone knows Magic's front 3 are very dangerous. Well, you got your 2 equal leading goal scorers in Bradbury and Virgili as well. So they score goals. And again, Spare and Virgili with Corey Fletcher backing up. And that's a corner to Magic. Late Macquarie appealing that it should be a throw in, but I think it's gone out for a corner. Yep. Just quickly around the grounds. Still 0-0 Adamstown versus Newcastle Jets.
Again, the rejoined Oxborough to Broadmeadow Magic on the ball. Delivers his corner. Finds Majerovski on the near stick. Couldn't flick that one on. He was clearly intending to hit Majerovski there for the flick on, and looked like he got him off the corner of his head a little bit and went out for a goal kick.
Yeah, I think the defender just gave John Matic just a little bit of a nudge just to throw him off a little bit. But yeah, it was a great, nice little ball in by Mitch Oxborough. Yeah, Madge could just nod it on a bit. Right. Luke Virgili with the ball. Campbell Ross. Great ball out to Harry Lane, nice and quick. Harry Lane one-on-one with Luke Virgili. He's crossed it in to Sam Walker. Great ball across. And it goes out for a corner. Great interchange by Lake Macquarie there, CT.
Yeah, another patch of play where they had a great opportunity and they find themselves with a corner, and Sam Walker is going to take himself out there to take that that corner. Where, a bobble out and a strike on goal is really important, particularly when you've got the wind behind you. You see the ball delivered in short. He finds a strike that didn't end up eventuating, and Oxborough has played through a perfectly timed run for Virgili. And we find Bradbury on the ball, who slots it into the bottom left-hand corner for a stranded Paul Bits. And what a great finish and terrific delivery from Oxborough into Virgili, and then Bradbury with a finish, Smudge. And great and well worked. And what a build-up that they've been building for this against a run, turning defence into attack.
Yeah, I tend to. That transition with lightning, wasn't it? And that's what Magic do very well. They got players who can. They got great speed. Virgili, Bradbury. But that's where that's Lake Macquarie only had 3 at the back. They've been playing 5 at the back, so they've been able to nullify it a little bit, haven't they, with extra numbers. But that time they just had the 3 at the back off a corner. They were in the attacking space, and that's the danger about when you're on the attack having a corner, you don't get caught at the back, and that's what happened.
Well, one of the key points for there, you could see on this occasion, Vigili just timing his run, and as soon as he saw Oxborough was getting it, he was timing it so that he was absolutely level when the ball was hit, and he did it to perfection. And then that timing of that run and the quality of the ball that came in, that's where Oxborough makes his injection of the team known and really created something there from where they're under a little bit of pressure.
And that gives Carl Bradbury 9 goals for the season to go to the top of the leaderboard on the goal scoring charts, with Vigili and Sam Walker both on 8, just slightly behind. Sam Walker on the ball. He's had a long range shot, but just skewed it a little bit, and no threat for Paul Bitts.
Well, in the context of the game right now and where it's up to, that goal is huge for Broadmeadow coming into, the dying stages of the first half. Going in with a 1-0 lead at half-time against a strong breeze is a big advantage, and I'll take that mentally if nothing else. The ball's played into Shikawe from Aquino. Shikawe does no better than to find Vigili. Plays it out to Shane Paul. The goal scorer Bradbury back on in the action. Shane Paul picks up a wayward pass. Comes right out the side to Hoole. And again, Smudge, Broadmeadow building and holding possession. They've got a good patch of numbers, and they're in the top third, and Vigili plays inside to Hoole. And Hoole in the box, scrambling. He's got defenders, plenty of attention from Walker. And Vigili gets across in, cuts it back, and Bradbury just got away from him.
Yeah, nice interchange from Broadmeadow. Great back heel to Bradbury. Bradbury's 1-on-1. Plays across to Vigili and cleared by Spare. Out to Sam Walker. Sam Walker to Harry Lane. Harry Lane puts it forward to Morgan to Kenya, but it's cleared up by Josh Pennington. Yeah, I think Magic over the last, 15 minutes, there's more movement off the ball as well. So the guys are playing, moving off the ball, and there's a bit more width, so there's more space to play in. So and players are able to find their target a lot easier.
Well, you're talking about Majerowski, coming off the front line. I was just watching him then. He's dropping in 10 metres. Now he's sitting nice and high, but he's happy to drop out of that and go into a pocket. So we see a ball played dangerously into Vigili. Outside of the boot from Oxborough. Into Vigili, and he wins a corner, and Bitts is not quite sure about this one, Smudge. He's got something to say about it.
Yeah, well, Bitts probably hasn't got anything to say because he's the other keeper down the other end, mate. But Stuart Plant's got something to say to the referee.
Sorry, one of the keepers. We were calling him Facey before, or a week or two ago, as in for Faceplant. Sorry about the error. That rivals one of yours. I'll come back to that in a minute. The ball goes over for a goal kick for Plant. Now that rivals one of yours, Smudge, when it was just you and I again, and the substitution at Lambton, and you called out the wrong substitution for the wrong team, so I'll take that one on the chin. Bradbury's injected himself right into this game. And a clever ball over the top from Vigili. Just a little flick over the top for Bradbury, but it gets cut out. And Spare all of a sudden finds himself in attacking motion. Shikawe gets the ball onwards for an aggressive attack for Lake Macquarie. The ball's delivered in, finds no one except for Hoole. Majerowski and Shane Paul there to clean things up. Broadmeadow take a quick free kick. It's pulled back. and probably just as well because Oxborough finds Majorovski, who would have been away if that wasn't pulled back.
Yeah, Greason, we've got one of our favourite followers, Playdates Doggy Daycare. Rosie Virgilia's watching this online here, CT. She's just making a comment that, yeah, you made a mistake with the goalkeeper name. So we've rectified that, Rosie, and it's all sorted. And both boys are playing well out here today.
Yeah, they are. They're playing, and thanks, Rosie. Yeah, they're playing brilliantly, the pair of them. And unlike Smudge and I here, scrambling. That's what it is. And Walker, though, gets that one away. He's looking for Shikawe. Be able to pull that one up before he gets to the goal line. And another player that's having a terrific game, Smudge, is Hoole. He's been good in attack and he's been solid in defence as well.
Mate, he's been consistent all year. He's had a great year, Matty Hoole, and you know, he's more accustomed to the centre midfield role, but he's really taken on board the right fullback role in the last few years, and he's been tremendous, and he's been so consistent this year. Throw in for Matty Hoole. Oxborough. Good pressure by Lakes. Out to Johnny Griff. Out to Luke Virgili. Ball movement just need a little bit quicker at times, some CT. It's a great ball by Luke Virgili to Carl Bradbury, but it's going to be cut off by Sam Walker. Tom Walker, sorry. And the range is starting to come in, CT.
It is, and the wind's picking up a bit as well. And it's cold. Players won't mind that as Oxborough launches one. As the danger he is against the wind from that distance, Smudge, he picked it up sweetly and caused Plant all sorts of concern.
And he's striking into a strong breeze, isn't he? But the timing of his strike is just spot on, isn't it? And he's sort of, he's a real threat. That's the foul on Mitch Hunter by Shane Paul. And we've got Andrew Carney listening, CT, one of your good mates. I seen him yesterday, or last night actually. So he's a great fellow, Andrew Carney, former edgy, former West Wall's End player.
Yeah, he certainly is, and one of the good guys, that's for sure. He loves his football, does a lot out in that area for West Wall's End and clubs that he's been at. So we see Shikawe over the top of the ball. He'd have in his mind whether to shoot, but he is a long, long way out. So we see the rain really coming down. He dinks it, finds Walker. It gets planted off, and somehow it goes in, but it looks like we've got an offside call, and it's so disappointing for Lake Macquarie at this point in the game. But much needed confidence, and Smudge, what an opportunity.
Yeah, great ball by Paul Shikawe over to Sam Walker. Little glancing header when it hits the crossbar. But anyway, back on the other end of the park, we've got Bradbury. That's a good challenge by Aquino. Sorry, Joey. And there's half time. Broadmeadow go into the half. 1-0 Lake Macquarie, or 1 to Magic. Lake Macquarie 0. CT, what were your thoughts on the first half?
The first half we were dead set all over the shop. but look, you know, Broadmeadow, so far so good for them. They'll go in reasonably satisfied. They've stretched them left to right. They've had to deal with a very tight and well-structured defence of Lake Macquarie, but on the other side of the agenda is that they've got a goal and they're one up, and they're coming out in the second half with wins at their back and a strong one, and the weather doesn't look like it's going to get any better. So all in all, for Broadmeadow, they'll be going in fairly satisfied.
Yeah, 100% agree. And like I said, they're going to have a strong win in the second half. I think Lake Macquarie, they've done really well. They've been in the game, though. Unfortunately, I suppose Magic probably had more chances, outright chances, than Lake Macquarie, but they did have a few chances to climb back into the game to get back to 1-1. But yeah, I think Lake Macquarie's going to find a little bit difficult in the second half, especially with Magic with a strong breeze up their back. But yeah, It's going to be very interesting. Anyway, that's halftime here at Magic Park. Magic lead, Lake Macquarie Roosters, 1-0. We'll see you in about 10 minutes. Hello and welcome back to the second half of this round 12 fixture between Broadmeadow Magic and Lake Macquarie Roosters. Magic in the lead, 1-0 at half time thanks to a goal on the 37th minute by Carl Bradbury. Ball in by Harry Lane. Campbell Ross on the ball. Good ball into Aquino. And Josh Pennington just let it go out to the byline. Just an update with scores around the ground. Weston 3, Maitland 2 at Western Park, and 0-0 Adamstown versus the Newcastle Jets youth. Campbell Ross on the ball. Out the Mitch Hunter. Closed in by Justin Broadley. And well defended by Broadmeadow Magic. Oxborough into Carl Bradbury. He's one-on-one with Corey Fletcher. He's turned inside Corey Fletcher. And well defended by Corey Fletcher. Bradbury still with the ball. Over to Matt Hurl. Matt Hurl gets a strike on goal and just a bit too high. And it's great to finally have Chris Turner back in commentary. Where you been, mate?
Twinkle Little Star Smudge. Yeah, I think Broadmeadow will be, as mentioned before half-time, will be buoyed by the fact that they did go one up, courtesy of a Bradbury goal in the 37th minute. No doubt you've covered that one off already, Smudge. But the win behind them, you know, we've had this discussion before. Sometimes it works in your favour, and sometimes, depending on how you set up and the way that you play, sometimes it doesn't because things get overhit and you get played beyond the defence. We see Shikawe putting some challenge there on bits. So, but you know, the beauty for Magic is that they've got someone like John Majerowski that can hold the ball up and keep it and stay strong, so they can definitely hit his feet. It's just the timing of the runs and the weight of the passes for Bradbury and Vigili that'll be key for them.
And with Lake Macquarie, I still like their setup. They're 5 at the back. They're really nullifying Broadmeadow. And like I said before, Broadmeadow got him on the counter. He's a great ball to Shane Paul. Shane Paul down the left-hand side, cuts it back, and good clearance by Corey Fletcher. And again, Carl Bradbury, Shane Paul, nice little interchange. And great forward run by Shane Paul in that left-hand side. Great cut back, but well defended by Lake Macquarie. And where Lake Macquarie just need to be a little bit careful is Magic's transition from defence to attack, especially when they start pushing numbers forward. Oxborough with the corner. And it went out for a goal kick. The other thing I like to see with Lake Macquarie, we've got Sammy Walk playing up in that number 9 and Paul Shikawe just in behind. I like to see him make them runs just in beyond the back 4 of Broadmeadow Magic, just to put a bit of pressure on them. And talking to a few of the Magic supporters downstairs, CT, and you're there as well. A lot of the Magic supporters have been very impressed with Lakes today.
Yeah, I mean, we've mentioned it before that they've been in games and they're just around it, but they just haven't been able to execute and just leaking goals. And one of the Magic supporters said, you know, there we go again. We've just leaked a goal, and you know that's sort of so far how it's been panning out.
Was that one of the Magic supporters or one of the Lake supporters?
No, that was one of the Lake supporters saying, you know, here we go again, and there's another goal that's been leaked, and again, you know, we're in a position where we're coming from behind and we're doing it a little bit tough. But look, all in all, you know, they should be happy with the way that they're playing. It's just trying to nullify those goals, and we spoke about that before the game. As we see now, Oxborough on the ball, and he may be fancying his chance at range. Strikes it, and that one just goes over the top right-hand corner and forces Plant to take some cover and make sure he had that one actually out of bounds before he could relax. So Lake Macquarie have started off okay in the first half, but you know that goal certainly has taken the wind out of their sails, you would think.
Yeah, but it's a long one to go. To me, the wind seems to have died down a little bit. It was quite strong in the first half, behind Lake's back, going from right to left, facing your screen. Great ball in and well defended by Walker. I think you'll find, yeah, Magic will have... it's good to see you get your gloves on, mate. Bit cold for you, is it? At least it's not raining at the moment, so... Hurl on the ball. Out to Johnny Griff. To Pennington. Pennington to Vigili. Vigili to Oxborough. Good pressure by Lake Macquarie. And there's a foul on Oxborough by young Harry Lane. He uses his body very well, doesn't he? That's a great ball by Vigili. To Vigili. Vigili versus Sparrow again. And the cross just looks like he's looking for Johnny Madge, but he just skewed it, especially with that wind behind. He just, it needs to be a perfect cross.
Ball's out to Fletcher. Goes long. Finds searching for Walker, but Piddington over the top. And Lake Macquarie looking for some possession of their own by Sam Walker, and now to Corey Fletcher. Morgan Aquino can't control that, and Shikawa tries to clean up, but doesn't go any further than Shane Paul. And now Vigili on the ball. James Vigili tries to deliver an early cross and is cut out. Smudge. It's pulled back into Hoole. And Lake Macquarie, you just mentioned some pressure there, Smudge, and Lake Macquarie applying some pressure. In their minds, this game's a long, long way from over, and the instruction from Nick Webb at half-time would have been something along the lines of, look, we're going okay, we're in this, we've got to take our opportunities when we create them. That's natural to say, but let's make sure we stay disciplined, and that goal happened on a counter-attack. It was a corner, quick breakaway. Oxford actually really killed them with that delivery, and then the ball into Vigili, and then Vigili into Bradbury for goal. You've got to be careful of that, and you can't relax on Broadmeadow because they've got too much strike from everywhere in the park.
And the key word is discipline. They need to be disciplined. Here's Oxborough with a great free kick in. Well defended by Lake Macquarie. Shikawa to Walker. Walker to Sparrow. Sparrow, Broadley's chased him down. Ball into Sam Walker. Oh, what a save by Paul Bitts. Well, great transition by Lake Macquarie. Great ball over by Sparrow. Sam Walker, very unlucky. What a save by Paul Bitts.
Terrific save, and I was just watching Sam Walker, his run as that ball was coming. It was always going to be delivered, but watching the angles, and this is where his game is at high quality. The timing of his run and the angle, just to give himself that 1 metre he needed to get a header. I'll tell you what, Smudge, that was a great save on a good finish. Ball's delivered in, back stick it goes, and Corey Fletcher just missed that, and Morgan Aquino was there, and then all of a sudden we've got Lake Macquarie applying a ton of pressure. Ball goes out to Kasich. And we've got Broadmeadow's coach who's barking instructions because he knows the importance of this section of the game.
Yeah, that was a tremendous opportunity for Sam Walker and Lake Macquarie. I think Sam will be a little bit disappointed he didn't put that away, but it was a great save by, handball. Handball to John Good. Had to be a yellow card. It's sort of a professional handball there. Handballed it twice, actually, in the space of about 2 seconds.
Yeah, and referee Khalil just had a smile on his face. It was that one was that obvious. But you can just see, we often speak, you and I, about momentum and how important it is in games, and Lake Macquarie are really building into this, and they've got some momentum about what they're doing and some real purpose about their play. And they've got Broadmeadow for the moment under pressure as the ball gets delivered by Tom Walker. Gets pulled out, finds Shane Paul. Corey Fletcher comes to blows with Majerovski. Then Sparrow back on the ball.
That's well played. Good interchange. Walker out to Aquino. Nice little touch on to Corey Fletcher, and well intercepted by Matt Hill. He's been solid today, hasn't he, Matt Hill? CT. Canberra Ross just puts that line. What Lake Macquarie need to be careful, it nearly happened just before. When they are on the attack, they start to push numbers forward and they can get caught with a quick transition by Broadmeadow. That's where they need to be very careful.
That's exactly what happened with the goal. You know, they had 3 at the back instead of their normal 5, and looks like we've got a substitution here, Smudge. We've got Dino Fajovic coming on and John Majerowski coming off. And this will introduce a new dynamic to the front line of Broadmeadow. You know, for me, this is an intelligent substitution at this point in the game, particularly when they're on a bit of a roll. Majerowski is particularly good at holding the ball up. Fajovic can hold the ball, but he's also he's very, very quick, and he knows where the target is as well.
And the thing is, with the wind behind you, you actually need balls into feet rather than balls played beyond, because the ball's just going to just drift away. That's, you know, I was surprised that he took Major off so soon, but obviously he's got tactics up, you know. He's got a game plan, Ruben Zakovic. But yeah, I thought Johnny Major did well, holding the ball up, bringing the midfielders into play. And that's a great ball by Hurl to Vigili, and this is Vigili on the back. Vigili and Sparrow's had a great contest here. I've been mentioned about 5 times. And Sparrow gets away with that one. A little nutmeg on James Vigili. Great ball into Sam Walker. Nice early play out to Harry Lane. Harry Lane into Sam Walker again. Nice little turn by Sam Walker. Out to Campbell Ross. Out to Tom Sparrow. Ball just eluded him, didn't it?
Yeah, Campbell Ross did well, and he's been holding his own in the middle of the park. He's an interesting player. Smudge, he's very quiet about his business, but he certainly completes a lot of passes. See Oxborough with his right foot spins it out left to Bradbury, and what a ball. Just instantly knew where he was. Picked him out, and Bradbury now one-on-one with Tom Walker. Gets past him and draws a free kick. And what a ball from Oxborough, Smudge.
Well, that's why they brought him into the side. We've seen it last year when he played these 6 or so games. He just looked up, hit Bradbury straight away, on the right peg as well. That's what we keep saying. Lake Macquarie have to be very careful. Their transition from Magic, from defence into attack, can really hurt Lake Macquarie, and it hurt him in the first half. That's how they scored the goal.
This time we've got Bradbury looking like he may take it, but Luke Vigili's on the ball, and it won't surprise if he has the flick in, which he does. No, Bradbury strikes it. Oh, no, I'll tell you what, Plant on that occasion was tested, and he was never going to hang on to it, and probably a parry away is a good move.
Tell you what, I thought that was going to sneak in that bottom right-hand corner at the moment, didn't it, CT? Just went over, dipped over the wall, and Plant saw it late, but good save in the end. Quick corner by Oxborough out to Hurl. Hurl delivers into Bradbury, and it just eludes, and it's gone to Vigili, and Vigili puts it away. Quick turn by Vigili, played in by Bradbury, and finish it. Goes 2-0. Broadmeadow over Lake Macquarie.
Look, that one's come out of virtually nothing. That delivery in from Hurl, I don't think that's what he was actually after, and the marking from Lake Macquarie has got a few question marks for me. That was just way too loose, and the fact that, you know, Vigili was able to get a free strike on goal. Take nothing away from his finish, though. He really did put that away well, but disappointing for Lake Macquarie to let in a goal like that, Smudge.
It actually sort of surprised us in the commentary box, didn't it? Just the way the ball just trickled through the 18-yard box to Vigili, and he had time to turn and just strike it on goal. He was free in the 18-yard box. There's a lot of Lake Macquarie players around. We can't see the replay, but yeah, I think Nick will be very disappointed in that defence.
Yeah, he will be for sure, especially that they went through a patch just in the last sort of 10 minutes or so where they've been playing with some purpose and then just had no urgency in the marking there and the clearance of the ball. And I guess, you know, sometimes it falls that way, but they should have been a lot closer. And we may be seeing a new player coming in. We've got Bradbury just tries to get strike on goal and didn't get enough on it. Oxborough has now whipped the ball back in, looking for Vigili on the back stick. Takes a deflection, gets to Vigili in the end, and then cleared by Sparrow.
Just with all that matters, there was a quick change. Number 10, Paul Shikawe, came off for Lake Macquarie, and number 14, Manilo Pappas, is on for Lake Macquarie. Looks like he's a number 9 sort of player. So they pushed him up front and then moved Sam Walker into the number 10 role. Lake Macquarie just changed the formation just a little bit. Campbell Ross to Mitch Hunter, out to Sam Walker, and good interception by Magic. Shane Paul. Both sides just need to get the ball a bit on the deck, don't they? Just get their patterns of play happening. Virgili steps over. Spare's on the ball to Mitch Hunter. Good turn by Mitch Hunter. Good pressure by Hurl. He's been good, Matt Hurl, hasn't he?
Yeah, you mentioned he's been good pretty much all year, and I suspect that's the case. He's been very good today. There's no doubt about that. And no disrespect to Pappas coming on. The Smudge or myself can wrap our lips around the second half of his name. So we're just going to run with Pappas. So I hope that's okay, mate. Ball coming to Kasich. Bradbury now gets on the ball and finds Oxborough, who has a sliding Tom Walker.
Looks like another substitution. Looks like Mix Oxborough is going to come off. He's been out injured the last few weeks, so this is his first game back, or first start back, and Cody Carroll is going to come on. Cody Carroll's been very good for Broadmeadow the last few weeks, but was replaced in the starting side by Mix Oxborough. He's had another great game. He said he had a few good chances, didn't he, Mitch Oxborough? Set a few good chances up as well, so some nice strikes on goal. He's had another tremendous game, and he'll be better for the run as well.
Cody Carroll's a great young player coming into this Broadmeadow side, and well, he might be disappointed starting on the bench. He's certainly been a big part of what they've been doing, and Oxborough coming off is probably a smart move from Zadkovic, because he's going to look after him. As you say, he's been carrying an injury, and yeah, although he's fine, you 2-0 up and don't really need to test it any further, and Cody Carroll will do a great job as we see him on the ball right now, and he's progressing forward. He's got Virgili immediately on his right, finds him, and Virgili strikes it. Plant, what a save from Plant, and then gets cleared out desperately by the Lake Macquarie defence, Smudge.
Well played by Cody Carroll. He sucked the defence in, played it out to Virgili, and a nice strike by Virgili. But I've just noticed, just before that substitution, and when Magic scored that second goal, they've really lifted intensity. Now they're full of confidence. So Lake Macquarie need to be a little bit careful the game doesn't run away from them.
Ball delivered in from Hool, I think that was. No one was able to get anything on the end of it. And Bradbury goes out to the corner flag. Morgan Aquino claims that one away. Mitch Hunter, heavy challenge. Aquino finds himself in the game, and all of a sudden Justin Broadley gets that ball away as far as Kasich. And Bradbury applying plenty of pressure. Draws a free kick there for Harry Lane, who did well to hold his ground.
CC, just on Aquino, do you know much about him? I've been impressed with him today, the young fella in the middle of the park. He's nice and strong. He's got good touches on the ball. He makes those forward runs, and he gets it and plays, I've been impressed with him.
Well, he's no stranger to Nick Webb, and if memory serves me correctly, he was playing under 18s or 19s 2 or 3 years ago for Broadmeadow, and playing as a striker, and then Nick Webb was keen to him come over with C. James Virgili trying to get a cross in. Goes as far as Walker. Yeah, and so he's been playing up front and doing very well up front. I like the way he goes about his football in that area, but to bring him in, and I was talking to Nick Webb this morning, and he said that he did really well in like a holding 6 sort of role, and he's going to give him another go, and he's done really well there today. And That's what we're saying early in the discussion in the first half. That it's interesting that you put such a young player that's not really played much football that we know of in that area of the park against, you know, a Shane Paul, Justin Broadley, and a Mitch Oxborough, and did very, very well. And now he finds himself back up front. As we see Harry Lane, strong challenge there from Lane. And what Lake Macquarie need here, Smudge, is they really need a goal, don't they, to get themselves back in the game, because it can get to the point where it gets too far as they find Walker. And something like that, just that little half opportunity, if he just could get a toe on it in front of Bitts.
And again, Sam Walker, that nice deep run from deep on an angle, just creates that bit of extra pressure on the Magic defence. He's such an elusive. Oh, Paul Bitts, he's come out 35 yards off his line to get the ball, and the ball nearly bounced over his legs. Shane Paul out to Carl Bradbury. And looks like he came from an offside position. Just a quick update, scores around the ground. Adamstown 0, Newcastle Jets 0, and I think it's still 3-2 out at Western. Western 3, Maitland 2. Dino Fadge, he gets past one, he plays it out to Carl Bradbury. He's on the edge of the D. Great ball across the Fadge. Oh, just went a little bit too deep. And well cleared by Lake Macquarie. Hurl on the ball. To Cody Carroll. Strike on goal. And just pushes it wide. He's got a good strike on him, Cody Carroll. And when he gets a bit of space around that area, just outside the 18 with a little bit of wind behind, he could be very dangerous.
Yeah, he's a great player to bring on at this time of the game, because his inclusion means that he's going to be very, very busy. He's still got his workhorses behind him in Shane Paul and Justin Broadley. And he's going to be creative, and while he's fresh, he's dangerous. And as we mentioned, Paul, he plays a terrific ball out to Virgili, just off his line, so to speak. Pushed him away from goal. And Virgili takes the ball back into Hoole, and then finds himself all the way back to Griffiths. Griffiths plays it long, searching, finds Kasich for Lake Macquarie, and Sam Walker picks up the ball, and all of a sudden Lake Macquarie back on the attack, and Harry Lane trying to weave a passage but can't go any further than Luke Virgili. Lake Macquarie still on the attack, Smudge, and this is what they need to do more of.
Ooh. Yeah, totally agree. Sparrow on the ball. He's inside the 18-yard box. Gets past Hurl. Crosses it. And well saved by Bitts. Yeah, totally agree. Lake Macquarie, that was a good little patch of play by Lake Macquarie. You know, their ball movement and the speed of the play was a little bit better. Pennington out to Cody Carroll. Into Shane Paul. He's had a heavy touch. So Sam Walker. Shane Paul picks the ball back up. Back into Luke Virgili. And this is where Broadmeadow just need to settle play down a bit. Use a bit of width. Out to Matt Hurl. Into James Virgili. Virgili and Sparrow again. Nice early ball across, but cut out by Sam Walker. Tom Walker, sorry.
One of the things I'm really noticing now is that the depth and the distance between the lines of Lake Macquarie, they're huge. The distance between the midfield of where Tom Walker was sitting at the defence and the midfielder, say, you know, a Mitchell Hunter, the gap and the lines are really big, which gives Broadmeadow extra room to play in. So difficult for Broadmeadow to defend against. And Corey Fletcher looking for Sam Walker, gets himself inside the box, plays it left, and that ball cleared away by Hoole.
Yeah, Menelaus Pappas was unlucky there. Great ball in by Sam Walker. He just sort of tripped over the ball as the ball came in. Great opportunity for Lakes. I think Broadmeadow just needed to be a bit tighter in this back line. Sam Walker with the corner. Ball delivered. Great header by Cody Carroll. It's out to, and just skewed it. Was Harry Lane. CT, I was watching the soccer the other night, and just prior to the Soccer Australia versus Czech Republic, I was watching a bit of the American spelling bee. Have you seen any of that, the spelling bee, with all the little kids?
No, I haven't.
Well, actually, there's a few words I thought I'd run past you. And, yeah, I was quite impressed with these young guys. They're just unbelievably how they know how to spell just on the spot.
Yeah, this will be good. Yeah, and what have you got?
I'll come back to it in a second. I just need to work out how to say it.
This is left field smudge. Talking about soccer, as we see Virgili gets in behind, weaves a passage and finds Bradbury, who gets blocked, held out. Now it's Hools in the action. Back out to Virgili. He's trying to weave another passage and it's cut out by Fletcher.
Yeah, it was like a pinball, wasn't it, just then? So, but good outlet by Lakes. Lakes out here to Harry Lane. Harry Lane with Luke Virgili. Tried to cut inside him. Great challenge by Luke Virgili and from by Shane Paul. Shane Paul on the attack, cut out by Corey Fletcher, and it's a foul made by Cody Carroll. Yeah, just going back to that spelling bee, CT, I was pretty impressed with some of these young guys just ad-libbing and somehow spelling these monstrosity words, spelling these words just on the palm of their hand. But I've got one for you, mate. This is from the other night. It's symmetrisis. How do you spell symmetrisis? And what it is, it's having wavy hair.
Symmetrisis. Let me just have a think about that for a minute and I'll come back to it. Give me time to Google it. You see Sparrow still going and it's caught up with Hull. That'll go out for a goal kick. Go back to Bits. So having wavy hair, symmetrisis.
Symmetrisis is one of the words.
Yeah, I'll have a quick crack at it, not to bore everyone. I'm going to say CY MOTR. How do you say the last part of it?
Trisis.
TRICHISIS.
And that's a foul by Aquino on John Griff.
How'd I go?
Mate, you're pretty close. You're it does mean wavy hair, but it's CYMOTRICHOUS. So you had two wrong. You had one wrong.
Oh, well, wavy hair, that's like our cameraman Mick. Long, wavy hair, flowing, and it's not grey at all. He just said it's leftovers from the 70s smudge. Might have called it the 60s, but anyway, we'll leave it at that. We have Virgili out for a throw-in. Virgili throws the ball in looking for Fadjevic. It's headed away by Tom Walker. Ball cleared, and Morgan Aquino in a foot race. And now all of a sudden Aquino gets free, gets a strike, but what a terrific tackle from John Griffiths. Great cover play, and any young footballer watching this, take a note out of John Griffiths' book. Ball's gone, he's gone past the defender, didn't get up and timed his run, and you've got to be very, very careful inside the box, and perfect tackle. So we see Sam Walker go out to the corner flag, looking for cross into the box. He's played it short to Aquino. And plays it back out to Campbell Ross into Aquino. The ball goes out, and that situation was diffused by Broadmeadow.
Just around the grounds has been a goal scored at Adamstown Rosebuds. Newcastle Jets 1, Adamstown Rosebuds 0, with about 15 minutes of play left. So Luke Virgili on the ball. They need a bit of width here, Broadmeadow. They're just a little bit too narrow. Just very compact. There's no space to play the ball through the middle of the park. Great ball by Vigili. Out to Matt Hurl. Matt Hurl advancing forward. Hurl cut out by late Macquarie defence. And Hurl wins the ball back. Out to Luke Vigili. To Pennington. Back to Paul Bitts. Just trying to spread the game here a little bit, Broadmeadow. And Bitts has just knocked the long ball forward. Campbell Ross. Nice little turn against Cody Carroll. Into Aquino. Nice little turn. He's a good player, Aquino. Sammy Walker. Nice little to Harry Lane. Back to Tom Walker. And cut out by Broadmeadow Magic. Justin Broadley on the ball. Back to Matty Hurl. Out to James Vigili. Back to Matt Hurl. Not much movement off the ball here from Broadmeadow. That's a great ball up to Dino Fadge, which was cut out by Corey Fletcher. Quick throw into Dino Fadge. Holds the ball up well. Vigili runs past him, gets across, and just went too far. That was well played by Broadmeadow. Ball into Fadge. Later back to Vigili, but the ball just went over, hit the cross, and it's gone out for a late Macquarie throw-in. Carroll on the ball, into Vigili, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, strikes it on goal and just skews it a little bit to the right-hand side. It was a great opportunity by James Vigili there to go 3-0 up. Broadly. Cut out by Campbell Ross. Out to Sparray. Sparray's around Hill. What a great ball by Sparray. He's got some pace, hasn't he, Sparray? Great ball, but they had no strikers in there. Harry Lane gets past Luke Vigili. Good challenge by Luke Vigili, and the ball comes out with Shane Paul. And Stuart Plant just clears the danger. Just around the grounds, Adamstown's got a goal back. Adamstown 1, Newcastle Jets 1. What did you say, CT?
Broadmeadow just overplayed there a little bit, and late Macquarie forced throw in. We see Pappas on the ball. Hurl again has rarely missed his mark today. Comes out to Shane Paul. Carroll run out of options. Finds Vigili. Back to Carroll again. Weaving a passage. Finds Bradbury. Gets himself inside the box. This is where he's dangerous. Calls from the crowd, calling him to pass it, but it gets into Shane Paul. Plays a ball into the back stick, and Vigili, sliding effort that just goes wide, and big opportunity there, just missmudge.
Yeah, and that's Shane Paul at his best when he does those weaving runs into the box, and a great cross, and well defended by late Macquarie. There was a great ball in for James Vigili at the back stick, but well defended by, I think it was Tommy Sparray in the end. Full credit to late Macquarie. They haven't died wondering, have they, CT? They've really kept going, keep putting pressure, trying to get a goal back. There's been a change. Harry Lane has come off, CT, and Michael Brewer has come on for Harry Lane. Carroll with the corner, whips it in. Oh, great save by Stuart Plant. Josh Pennington with the header, and great save by Josh Plant. Look at late Macquarie trying to break nice and quick with Sam Walker, and there's heaps of cover here by Broadmeadow. Actually, Aquino wins the ball. Back to Shane Paul. And Shane Paul just hoofs it up the front, away from danger, just to get the boys, get Magic settled back in, get their shape again. They're just a bit disorganised at that stage. Aquino. Pennington. Luke Virgili. To Shane Paul. And out to Matt Hill. That's well played by Moore. Little triangles there on this side and a quick switch to play. But I'd like to see more width. Here we go. Out to James Virgili. Fletcher on his tail. Good 1-2 with Dino Fage. Virgili on goal, and it's a goal by Virgili! Great 1-2 with Dino Fage. And Virgili puts it away to make it 3-0 to Magic. Wasn't it a great 1-2?
It was a terrific 1-2, but it was nearly as good as your Virgili! Wow. Well, that's going to be tough for Lake Macquarie from here. 3-0 down. And you can see that there's some deflated people there. Their shoulders have dropped across the park. And you feel for Lake Macquarie here because they certainly have been in the game. And probably as their coach describes, Nick Webb, that they've been in games. And today has been that case. Goals have come against them and haven't been able to pick up. And tell you, Smudge, that Michael Brew coming into this game, he's been at Lake Macquarie for a number of years now, and he's been a good servant to the club. And also with that, he's also a person, he's had the worst broken leg that I've seen happen on a park. Just a clean snap as we see him looking for this ball. It's overrun. But yeah, clean snap, and it was just absolutely horrible to witness that. But to his testimony, he got through that injury and worked himself back in to strength and fitness again, and it's good to see him back playing first-grade football. And notably on that day when this break happened, he went into a tackle, ball was stuck in the middle, and both players went through, and his leg just went, the bottom half of his leg went backwards, and on the ground he was wondering if he was okay to play on. So maybe it was a bit of shock. You would have seen that, as you are a medical professional, Smudge. But long recovery.
Just on James Virgili, that's 2 goals for him today. That takes his tally to 10 for the season. With Bradbury on 9 and Sam Walker on 8. The 3 leading goal scorers actually playing today here. Good ball in, but cut out by Shane Paul. You're just going back on Lake Macquarie. They had a great opportunity with Sam Walker for the header where Paul Bitts is Dino Fage. Great ball by Virgili. Dino Fage one-on-one with Plant. And great save by Plant.
That was almost the identical position we saw Ryan Clark last week against Broadmeadow. Exactly the same situation, nearly almost the same result. As we see Virgili getting past his defender. Lake Macquarie under a bit of pressure, but they find themselves out. Ball's played by Sam Walker into Aquino. Morgan Aquino was held back, what appeared that way, and he and Griffiths come blow to blows.
Mate, I like this Aquino. He's got a bit of fire in his belly. He's a young boy. He's got strength. You know what? He's got good touches, and he's quite elusive. He's a good young player. If I was coaches, I'll be having a good eye on him. He said and I was very impressed with him playing that number 6 role, screening the back 5 in the first half. And when Nick Webb's moving up front, he's been dangerous. He's looked dangerous every time, and he's quite elusive.
Well, when we mentioned him 2 or 3 years ago, when he was playing with Broadmeadow, he certainly, in fact, he was our man of the match on that day. We've got now another substitution, Smudge.
Yeah, we've got Shane Paul coming off for young Sam Webb. He's a very elusive player as well. Shane Paul's had another rock-solid game, hasn't he? His usual workman-like performance. And he's been rock-solid. And this is a great opportunity for Sam Webb. He's quite an elusive young player as well. Got some speed, nice left foot on him as well.
Well, this is the first time we've seen him this year, so we'll see how he goes. And it's a good time for him to come in with your team up 3-0. And instantly he gets himself into the game. And that one there, Sam Webb just knocks it over, and Lake Macquarie out for a throw-in, and Lake Macquarie will pick that one up by the services of Brew, who launches that one down the sideline. Falls for Bradbury. Cleared by Kasich. Now Broadmeadow find themselves in a good position to get a ball into the box and potentially something on target. You'd think here, Smudge, that Virgili's too far out. He'll look to get a cross in. It may even be Cody Carroll. Get something into the box. We've spoken in recent weeks about clearing the first defender. In other words, getting the ball past that first defender of Lake Macquarie so it actually goes into your timber that are going to be looking to head the ball. In this case, it's going to be Luke Virgili and Josh Piddington. He's picking out. In fact, it was Virgili that didn't quite get there, but Carroll gets himself back onto the ball, delivers it again for Virgili, this time for Piddington, and knocks it back, and James Virgili gets a strike on goal, but that was offside. Broadmeadow, you really think, Smudge, that they've established themselves into the game as we see Morgan Aquino coming off the park. And we've got number 17, Harrison Taylor, coming onto the pitch. Again, Harrison Taylor's another one, Smudge, we haven't seen before, so both coaches taking the opportunity to bring on some players and give them some experience. Oh, and that's a mistake from Tom Walker, falls straight for Bradbury. Forces a save from Plant, who was up to the challenge and did exactly that. Terrific save from Plant. And Bradbury, again, for me, he'll be disappointed he didn't put that one away. You're one-on-one with a keeper, but take nothing away from the save from Plant.
Just up here, CT. The ground's starting to chip up, isn't it? So something's just happened down the road here, CT, which we couldn't really see it. It looks like Lake Macquarie players aren't too happy here, and we're getting it quite wet as well. And just while I've got a stoppage play here around the grounds at Adamstown. Adamstown 1, Newcastle Jets 2. And looks like Luke Virgili is going to receive a yellow card here. I actually missed what happened. I think it might have been a retaliation while the Lakes player was on the ground. But there's no free kick, so Magic continue to have to throw in. Piddington just hoofs it long, trying to find Fajovic. However, the wind just got hold of it and took it straight down the plant. Oh, great ball by young Harrison Taylor. Out to Spare. And well cut out by Broadmeadow Magic. Tom Walker on the ball. And cut out again by Broadmeadow Magic's defence. Out to James Virgili.
This ball out to Spare. Delivers a great ball in. Walker gets up for a header, but Virgili got himself above that one and got the clearance away, and potentially he's copped a bit of a knock. I think he's okay, but certainly getting up slowly. Well, the rain coming down now significantly, and the ground is chopping up a little bit. It's held reasonably well, but it's certainly it's got some rain over the last day or two. See Luke Virgili dinking the ball, looking for Fajkovic, which he finds him. Cleared by Kasich. As far as Carroll, and strong challenge. And Plant quickly away to Spare. On this occasion, Lake Macquarie coming forward to get better together in numbers, and they've certainly got some. Brew on his outside, free. Ball struck, picked up by Bits.
So we're in stoppage time here at Broadmeadow Magic. Throw in for Magic down the left-hand side. So it's still 3-2 Western over Mayland. So it looks like there's going to be an upset in the El Clasico.
Yeah, the Bart El Clasico. He's up there calling that game with Graham Law. And it would be an upset because Maitland really needed the points. Sam Walker gets uplifted quickly back to his feet. And Virgili and Sam Walker are clearly ready for each other. Quick exchange of pleasantries, but certainly when the ball's in play, they didn't have eyes for the ball. They just had eyes for each other, smudging. A bit of feeling out there amongst these two.
And what I like about Sam Walker, he just got uprooted by John Griffith in the middle. He just got up and played, didn't he? He just got up and played, didn't worry about. He wasn't hurt, just got up and played. And then with Virgili, they sort of got tangled up a little bit. You know, sort of, he's on the ball again now. He just got up, same with Virgili, patted each other on the back and just kept playing. That's what you like to see.
I can tell you, with his brothers at home, and he's got about 5 of them, they've plenty of time in the backyard, and he's been uplifted in the backyard at his home in Kempsey plenty of times, and we've got something happening here with Kasich. Michael Brew, perhaps, was that yellow card. So Cleal into his book again, and he's had a solid game here, Smudge, referee Cleal, in the fact that this one could have easily gotten out of hand, and he's been right on top of it. Decision-making's been good. He's been in good positions to make the calls, and it's a referee like that that'll keep the game in check, and he's done that this afternoon. Let's see Virgili on the ball as we're getting into the back, right into the back end of the game, delivers it in. Terrific strike in the back end of the box. Piddington just couldn't get up high enough to get a piece of that.
And it's full time, but Adamstown 1, Newcastle Jets 2. So a good win again by Newcastle Jets. They beat Charlestown last week, and they've beaten Adamstown this week. So 2 wins on the trot for the Newcastle Jets. Good interchange between Fajovic and Virgili. Virgili crosses it in for Bradbury, but well cut out by Lake Macquarie. Cody Carroll on the ball. Gets past 1, gets past 2. Out to Virgili and cut out by Tom Walker. He's been rock solid, hasn't he, Tom Walker at the back for Lake Macquarie?
Yeah, people from within the club have said he's been possibly their best, as we see Cleal pull full time on this game, resulting in Broadmeadow Magic 3, Lake Macquarie 0, and Smudge. A little bit disappointing for Lake Macquarie, who for long periods were in the game, but some goals that went in at the wrong time unfortunately led to a scoreline that doesn't necessarily reflect the result.
Obviously, Nick won't be too pleased with the result, but the way they play was I thought they did really well. They were in the game again. And the thing is, they conceded a goal in the first half when they had the ball in Magic's, they had a corner, so they're on the attack, and quick transition from Magic resulted in a goal. So, and then in the second half, Sam Walker had a great opportunity to level the score at 1-1. Great save by Paul Bitts, and then Magic go down and obviously score through James Virgili. But just on the goal scorers, we've got James Virgili scored in the 37th minute, and Carl Bradbury scored in the 37th minute, and James Virgili scored in the 58th and 82nd minute. So that brings Broadmeadow to the top of the table with Edgeworth on 23 points. Obviously, Broadmeadow are on top with goal difference. Lake Macquarie stay rooted to the bottom with Valentine as well. But Lake Macquarie, they accounted for themselves very well, and I think Ruben Zakovich will be very happy with Magic to get the 3 points there. That was a tough game, and getting 3 goals as well, and a clean sheet for Broadmeadow. Ruben's going to be happy.
Yeah, absolutely, he will, and Broadmeadow now are sitting, in position where they would like to be, I would expect. And Lake Macquarie, for me, looked like a side, Smudge, that just 1 or 2 players short of where they'd probably like to be, maybe another defender, maybe another midfielder, perhaps. But they're also the sort of side where you can see that they could get on a roll if they just had a little bit of luck. And I guess that's, with 1 or 2 of their goals that go in, that don't go in, that could have, that's the way the setup has been. But anyway, all in all, Broadmeadow Magic 3, Lake Macquarie 0, and that's where it ends up, and a fair result in the end. So that's it from us in the team this afternoon. We'll look forward to speaking and seeing you next week on the midweek show. See you on Thursday night.